Star Trek Discovery is now on its 4th episode in, and so far we have a lot of different questions brewing about the series, but one in particular we're going to focus on today. What's up with the Klingons?
What is up with the Klingons? Because I'm not necessarily against it.
I know their faces look different, but
sure.
To be fair, the Klingons' faces look different in every Star Trek.
There's even an Enterprise multi-part story that tries to explain why that happens. And I've never been against like alien races in sci-fi having different features with different parts of it, the same way like not all humans look alike and not all humans have the same coloring.
But that's not the issue I have personally.
Right.
The issue I have is one, why are their scenes so terrible? I don't know how else to phrase this.
Sure.
They talk so slow and so it just sounds like to me someone's phonetically sounding out words in a language they don't know, as opposed to emphatically feeling things. And you know, these Klingons are so passionate about T'Kuvma and his "Make Klingon Great Again" message, and it always falls flat for me, especially in episode 4 when we just kept cutting away from the action to the Klingons. And my feeling overall with that was they're building to something greater eventually, but they're not being exactly present scene to scene with why I should care and why I should have. Because I think what they're trying to do is parallel them to Starfleet. You know, they have their own issues too. We should have empathy toward them. I don't feel it at all.
No, I agree with you. It's one of those things where I see the story, I see what you're trying to build, but I'm not connecting to it emotionally. And on top of that, I mean, the talk behind the scenes of, well, we're gonna break new ground on Klingons and make you see them not as the bad guy. And I'm like, well, 3 Star Trek franchises have done that. You know, starting with Next Generations, like, hey, here's a Klingon.
Here's Worf, he's the best.
Part of Starfleet, and through many episodes, we saw them as just, it's a different culture, and they have different priorities. So it's not evil. We had disagreements, we had clashes, and that makes sense. So I don't know why there's such an emphasis of we're gonna show them not, we've already got a lot established that you can play with. And there also just seems to be, to me, lost potential, lost ground to show when in the 2nd episode you have this holographic display of members of other Klingon houses, and I thought, well, here would be a great opportunity to show someone could be dressed as the original series Klingons, and someone could be dressed as the Next Generation Klingons, and someone could be dressed as, you know, the Abrams movie Klingons.
There's issues for sure with the canon not being very clear.
It's not even about like what I must know how this fits into canon, because actually I'm pretty loose with that, and Star Trek is a very good track record of doing something against canon and then explaining, no, this really was canon. So I'm fine with that. Just it's a weirdly lost opportunity to me, and also I think you're kind of using the Klingon bullet too soon. You know, build up to it. Like they're a familiar baddie. Let's see some other stuff first, especially if you're trying to get new fans into Star Trek. Let's explore a little bit. It's called Discovery. Let's discover new things.
I agree.
Yeah.
A little bit of controversy came up over the weekend of New York Comic-Con, in which one fan addressed the Star Trek Discovery panel with a question about the Klingons' clothing in particular, saying that they felt that they were the most African they've ever looked. And what was the point of that? Alex Kurtzman did respond. There have been a lot of questions about that. There have been a lot of questions about the look of the Klingons, and the truth is that we wanted to shift everyone's perspective about what the Klingons are because they're so traditionally relegated to just being bad guys. That's exactly what you just spoke about.
Yeah, it's again, I don't know what
I don't know if that's a great answer to why do they look more African than ever before in their clothes.
Well, it doesn't answer the question. It's just saying there have been a lot of questions about that.
Yep. He goes on to say, and that meant making visual changes too, while hopefully maintaining and retaining the spirit of the original Klingons.
But again, you're just saying you made changes, but why? Like what directed these changes? You know, and I can, again, it doesn't have to be a costume I necessarily like, but it would be great if it meant something beyond making them look like golden can openers.
I mean, yeah.
And I am enjoying Discovery, by the way. I don't mean to be bashing Discovery. I'm actually digging
like
it
too, but I don't like it as much as I want to like it. I feel like I'm giving it more leeway than it deserves at times because I have affection for Star Trek in general.
Yeah, I have a great affection for Star Trek, and also Star Trek historically doesn't have great first seasons except for maybe original series.
That's fair.
So I'm sort of okay with them building up and figuring out what their gear is and what their path is.
Well, we know season 2 is ordered.
Yeah.
So maybe we will get there eventually. If we don't get there this season, there are 11 episodes left. Do you think they will get there, audience? What are your thoughts of Star Trek Discovery? I know you're not digging that it's behind a paywall. Please let us know below, and please like and subscribe for more.